Well, we are here for the family reunion. This is the, I think, fourth family reunion we have had. We started off in Philadelphia about 3 years ago, and the Philadelphians hosted the family reunion for 2 years. And then last year we had an opportunity to host a family reunion in Boston, Massachusetts, Boston. And this year it was decided that, look, the program will be held here in Minnesota. And this is why we are here in Minnesota, and we drove from Philadelphia along with some of the family members, and some of them had an opportunity to fly to come here. Well, you know, when we were all in Liberia prior to the Liberian Civil War, our parents, you know, were very concerned about us meeting regularly. So we used to get our uncles and our aunts and things together, and our father used to coordinate a meeting amongst them, you know, sometimes on a monthly basis, sometimes on a quarterly basis. And then we discuss family issues and the upbringing of the kids, and then we also discuss marriages, you know, among, the brothers and sisters. And so this is the genesis of the whole idea of the family reunion. And since the war took place, you know, and we are all in the diaspora, many of us, again, have found ourselves here in America. We decided to carry out this family tradition because we've realized that in the absence of really meeting like this and then imparting our culture and our religious beliefs into our kids, you know, there are so much distractions in this country, so much temptation in this country, and some of the practices are so diametrically opposed, you know, to our customs and traditions. So we've decided, you know, that we should do this on a yearly basis, and this is why we are here in Minnesota.
You spoke last night, and I remember you talking about preserving the cultural value of Mandingoes and including other cultures, let's put it straight, restricting how our children watch television and what they watch on television. What does that have to do with the Sherry family descendant?
Well, you see, like I said earlier, you know, this is some of the distractions we're talking about. We are not saying that we should not have televisions in our home. We are not saying that we should not have internet services for our kids. But what we are saying is that, look, if we are responsible to pay our bills, you know, and then we should be the one to restrict the kind of television programs that our kids watch. Some of those programs are so diametrically opposed to our cultural beliefs and practices and our religion as Muslims. So we want to be very selective on what they watch and what they do not watch. You know, research has shown that, you know, the children, the television has a lot of negative effect on the children. And this is why we try to talk to our family members and our aunts, our sisters, and things like that. Be careful with the television. You know, control the television, have parental control. Make sure that the kids are watching programs that you are aware of, programs that are at the age range, and programs that do not, you know, oppose, you know, our basic, you know, cultural and religious beliefs. And similarly with the internet, I mean, we should know, you know, what websites our kids are going to. You know, there are a lot of websites around here, and then people, I mean, they have affected the kids so much. So we are also trying to restrict our kids, telling them what websites they should go to, and we should be aware. So this is why, you know, we emphasize the whole issue about the TV and the internet.
You also talked about not wasting food, especially when they're eating, comparing that to the situation in Africa where people struggle to get food to feed the family. You know, Westerners will think that, oh, what is he talking about? You know, especially people listening to you at this time.
Yeah, really, when it comes to the food, I mean, what I was trying to emphasize is wastage and extravagance. When it comes to food, we know that, look, there are millions of people out there who cannot afford, you know. And when we talk about millions of people out there, when you live in America and see how food is in abundance, and you talk about people now wasting food and things, most times they don't comprehend, you know, the whole concept behind it. But when we were growing up, you know, we didn't have, you know, the opportunity to have varieties of food that we eat. You know, whatever is provided at the time, you have to eat it. If you don't, I mean, then you have nothing else to eat. And so we want to let our children know that, look, there may come a time you may not have the opportunity to have all these options and varieties of food. So eat the food, you know, whatever food you cut to eat, I mean, try to make sure you can finish it. If you cannot finish it, then then cut the food that you can eat and finish, or else what you're gonna do is to just waste the food. And I notice in this country, even if you have just a can of soda or a pint of milk, and even if it is not open or somebody touches that with a hand or is put on the table for somebody, if that person does not drink that milk, immediately when they clearing the table, they trash the milk. That milk will be given to somebody else or kept in the refrigerator for somebody else to take. So that's the whole concept behind advising.
But in the Western world, maybe the kids might argue that it's another way of spreading germ and other things like that. So I don't know, what would be your take on that?
Well, you see, to counteract that, I mean, we were born in Africa, we were brought up in Africa, and we eat something to wash our hands, we eat together in group and things. I mean, if there were any germs were really, spreading, I mean, all of us would have been affected by the germs. You understand what I'm saying? Because we eat with our hands, and sometimes we eat more than 2-3 persons eating one bowl. You understand? Right. So what germs, do we have? I mean, that will really spread out like that. And besides that, our religion calls for us, eating in such way, and inviting our brothers and sisters to sit together and eat. When Jesus, the story about Jesus being in the upper room and he was, trying to prove to his disciples that look, he's still the same person and all those things. And they said, okay, you should bring bread and fish to eat and things. He didn't eat with fork and spoon, he ate it with his hands. Okay. You understand? Okay. So I'm saying that, I'm not saying it's wrong to eat with fork and spoon. Right. But it's not also wrong to eat with your hands. You understand? We use our hands to eat. So if there is anything about germs and things, we will have been affected first. So the issue of germs, I think it's just an excuse, and then so people, just perpetuate, that particular culture of, wasting food and, just extravagance. Okay, you also mentioned about the school system trying to infiltrate cultural value, specifically like the kind of culture you come from, the Mandingo culture. Yep. You think the school system is infiltrating this. How is that happening? Well, it's happening in so many ways. For example, we teach our children certain basic cultural values, right? Respect for elders, and not challenging your elders in a very disrespectful manner. And the educational system, we believe as Muslims that, look, the whole issue of the human beings originating from, monkeys and chimpanzees and all those things are things that completely, or diametrically opposed to our religious, thoughts about the evolution of life. It's Allah, the Almighty God, who created all of us. Right. You understand? We did not come from chimpanzees and monkeys. Right. You understand? Right. We were created and we came from our prophet Adam, who is our father, and then came from his wife Eve, who is our mother. So that's how we were created. You understand? So to say that we came from, maybe chimpanzees and monkeys and things, this is diametrically opposed to our religious teachings. And that's what we tell our kids. Look, you can study and go to school, make your grades, but this is not true. And we want them to understand that. And also, the upbringing of our kids and some of these values we're talking about, respect for elders, praying, doing your daily prayers, recognizing God that, look, He is the one that created, He is the one that provided you all of these opportunities and things to even be in school. So if the school system is providing you something else, then you should be very careful, be critical of what you take, so that it cannot, it cannot oppose, whatever tradition, custom, and practices, you are used to. Okay, finally, you were very, very proud last night when you stood before the audience and thanked them for upholding their marriages. You also thank those who are married to Sheriff women and those who are also married to Sheriff men. That sound to resonate with the audience last night. You also throw some religious light on this. Tell the audience a little bit, the video audience right now, what you were saying over there last night. So what I was trying to say is that, look, marriage is a sacred, union, and then we should take it very seriously. And when we are getting married, it's okay. When we are getting married, we know our sisters are married to other people from different, backgrounds and things. So we want them to be patient with our sisters, and then we also want to be patient with other people's sisters and aunts that we ourselves are married. And because in the society, when we talk about the family, they look at the nuclear family they're talking about is just your wife, your husband, and the kids. But our concept of family is beyond that. Our uncles, our aunts, our cousins, you know, it goes beyond that.
Okay.
So we want our sisters to hold on to the marriages, because it is true, when you are married, you are responsible. You understand? You are the upbringing of children. It changes your priorities. You know, it changes your definition of what life is all about. You understand? So that's the advice we're giving to them. That look, keep and hold on to your marriages, because we see what people do here. They say, let's get to know one another. So a man, a high school sweetheart, they live together maybe for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and then get married on the 8th year, and then the 9th year they are divorced. So what is the use of, you know, abusing your chastity all that time with a guy who at the end of the day just dump you? So we encourage our sisters and aunts, you know, to get married, and then to uphold to the marriages, and not to divorce for any frivolous reason. Look, we all have issues. There are two persons coming together from different backgrounds, different perceptions about things. So there are bound to be issues, there are bound to be conflict. And that's why we come from the African tradition. We have a lot of avenues. Our uncles, our aunts, our grands, they are the avenues that we go through to bring reconciliation between husband and wife if there are issues. You know, so that's the thing that we're trying to really emphasize to them. And they should take their marriages seriously and not divorce for every little thing. Because you never know the next marriage you go into, whether it's going to work or not. You know, I'm not also saying that you cannot divorce. When there are legitimate reasons, Islamically valid reasons for divorce, you can divorce. But not for every little thing that you want to divorce for.
I wish we had enough time to cover this topic, because I believe it is of great importance to the audience listening to us right now. But I want to tell you thank you so much for remaining under the sound of my voice, and thank you very much for coming to Minnesota. I would like you to restate your name so they know exactly who I was talking with, and then after that.
I'm Mohammed Sharif, and I'm from Philadelphia. You know, participating in the family reunion here in Minneapolis.
Thank you ever so much for coming to Minneapolis.
You're welcome. I appreciate it.
Thank you.